12-rounder this one, and Magnesi has a little bit of a puncher's reputation. He's stopped his last 8 opponents. Comes from Lazio in Rome. Anthony Cacace's dad, Tony, comes from Sorrento, which is near Naples. A Napoli football fan. Well, you don't need me to point out the fact that Napoli aren't exactly in love with Lazio, and Anthony Cacace says that his dad has said he wants him to destroy this fella.
Yeah, well, Anthony Cacace's got the height and reach at 5'10". Got 4 inches on his opponent here. He'll have to use that. I think Magnesi will look to come forward, close that gap, whip that right hand over the top most certainly, but also work Cacace's body, who's fairly tall. So it'll be interesting to see how Cacace handles his opponent here. He's got the height and reach though.
He certainly has, and he clipped there by a left hand though from Magnesi, who's going to be dangerous, particularly early on. I think Cacace's finest win was his victory over Sam Bowen to take that British title in November 19, and he's only had 1 fight since then, and he's been out of the ring for just over a year, which may count against him, may do. Not through any fault of his own, by the way.
Yeah, I think in that time also Magnesi's had a couple of fights, hasn't he, John, over 8 rounds, so he's been busy, he's been keeping busy, Magnesi, and Cacace. Yes, a long time out of the ring, 13 months.
Magnesi managed and married to Alessandra Branco, the daughter of Silvio, who fought you a few years back.
Yeah.
I was there at Telford.
Back in 1995, yeah. Good, hard fight that was.
Won the European title on that occasion, did Richie? Memory serves me right.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Good fight. Good fighter, Branco, who went on to become, I think, WBA light heavyweight champ, so yeah, he was a quality kid.
Fought until he was 40-odd, 46, I think. Well, Magnesi trying to apply plenty of pressure in this opening round.
Yeah, and there's the pattern of the contest, is it? Magnesi coming forward, and we spoke about it earlier, about him targeting the body. He's caught Cacace with a couple of good body shots downstairs, so this Italian, strong, coming forward. You can see short to mid-range, that's where he wants to take the fight to Cacace.
Cacace prefers fighters who come to him, though, and he's certainly going to have to go looking for this fella, is he? On the front foot and trying to dictate terms from there, Magnesi, the champion. Could be an interesting opportunity for the winner of this one, because the WBC and WBO titles are now vacant after Shakur Stevenson last night failed to make the weight for what should have been a title defence for him. Won the fight, but no longer the champion. Last few seconds. Oh, good shot. Good left hand from Cacace. Good scoring shot. Last real power punch of the round, and Magnesi a little grin as he goes back to his corner. He knows he was caught.
Yeah, a couple of good shots there towards the end of the round from Cacace, but I thought the first round actually went to Magnesi, who was on that front foot constantly.
Well, here's some of the action from that opening round.
Yeah, coming forward, this was the better work from Cacace right at the end of the contest. Lovely right hand, a little left uppercut on the inside there, but up until that point, I thought the Italian had a good round. This is the last 10 seconds or so. So good signs for Cacace at the end of the round, keeping his man at bay with some good punches there as Magnesi was coming forward.
Harry Hawkins with Anthony Cacace. Mario Massai in the Italians' corner. Interesting fight, this one. There were a few people, sort of boxing insiders, who reckoned that this one could turn out to be the fight of the night. I personally like the main event.
Absolutely, I'm really looking forward to that. But yes, this is just a clash of styles, isn't it? Magnesi coming forward He wants to throw punches more, bent arm work on that inside. Look, he's strong. Cacace's got to try and keep a gap between himself and his opponent. The left uppercut and the right uppercut for him are going to be important also. Little sneaky shots on the inside from him where he scores very well. See there, those are the shots that just miss the target there. So if they hit the target, it could be totally different. But his jab, his long straight right hand is going to be very important. And the gap between himself and his opponent is going to be also going to have a real tell on the contest, John.
There's a fair number of these right hands from Magnesi, though, which are crashing home. There's a decent uppercut inside there from Cacace, but all the time it's Magnesi forcing the pace. Referee looking to see if they're going to break of their own volition, which they finally do. Good shot. Lovely body shot, and bringing the shot up inside Cacace with that right uppercut.
Yeah, right uppercut and lead uppercut as well from Cacace.
Good spell from Cacace, maybe his best of the fight so far. Another couple of uppercuts, right and left.
Yeah, and what's probably important for him now, John, is once he's landed that shot, just to move off. Doesn't need to be holding the feet. And Magnesi wants him to hold the feet and then let him come back with his shot. So he's got to hit with that uppercut, then move off to the side and just maintain that gap again.
There's that right hand of Magnesi, though. He's been getting through a few more times in this round, and a few more times than I'm sure the Cacace corner would like to see. Cacace's won his last 4 contests. And he's done well in this second round.
Yeah, better work from Cacace. He's managed to keep his man at bay, and he's been actually catching Magnesi as he's coming forward. But Magnesi is strong, John.
Yeah, but he put so much into that first round, didn't he? And here you see the bull-like strength of the 5'6" Italian trying to get in over the top with that right hand. Right hand of Cacace's looked as though it strayed a little bit low there. But a much better round for the Irishman, and he knows it. Well, they're happy with the way things are going in that second round.
Yeah, it was a better round for him, wasn't it? He was more accurate with his work there. There was an example there with that right uppercut and a good jab. So he's managed to maintain the gap between himself and his opponent better in that round.
Ian Boyle giving the words of advice in that Cacace corner. Anthony Cacace, who's open in the fact that he really did consider quitting the sport when supposed big fights kept falling through over the last year or two. But this is his big opportunity. That's good.
Yes, much better work there. You see he's hitting and he's moving, just maintaining the gap. That's what his corner was talking about also. So they picked up on it. Doesn't need to be holding his feet. Better work, and then just increase that gap again. It's a tough contest with doing that, John. You've got to be fit, but that's what's required here.
That right hand, when it landed on the target, it brought the response from Magnesi, didn't he? As much as to say, yeah, you've caught me, but you've not hurt me. When you see fighters do that, almost invariably, it means that they have been clipped and they have felt it.
It's a good shot. Yeah, most definitely.
Good fast hands and good accuracy from Cacace. He was a narrow favourite with the bookmakers, Cacace, but not by very much.
It's just inactivity that's plagued him, isn't it?
Yeah,
Cacace.
definitely.
He's a good fighter. I was talking to Carl Frampton earlier on, and he says that he hits so hard. He sparred him lots of times, has Carl, and he says he's so deceiving, gets a lot of leverage on his shots, and he really punches hard. One of the hardest punches he said he sparred.
He was due to fight Magnesi on the Jake Paul Tommy Fury card, which fell through. He was due to fight on the Tyson Fury Dillian White show. The Colombian Jonathan Romero couldn't get a visa on that occasion, so understandably he kept preparing and training for these fights and was pretty hacked off when they didn't happen.
Yeah, it's awful, putting so much work in and then getting called off. Really affects you mentally. And obviously the best boxers are the busy boxers, and to be 13 months out, then it's not good. When you're 33 years of age, you need to be active. He's a quality fighter, Anthony Cacace, but he's going to be tested here. This is a tough fight.
Magnesi has been busy. Good right hand in there from Cacace. Magnesi ready to stand his ground and trying to go toe-to-toe with the Irishman, trying to show that he's physically the stronger man. Another good round, good to watch, and Cacace again using those good boxing skills. I thought he took that one, Richie.
Yeah, it was a close round, John. Could have gone either way, actually.
That sounds like a polite way of saying I disagree.
Yeah, no, it was close. It could, literally, that one I thought could have gone either way, and the work at the end there from Cacace may have just been enough for him. But Magnesi just kept coming forward, had spells himself where he had success, but here, a couple of good quality shots from Cacace. He's having to put a bit of beef behind those shots to gain the respect of his opponent, who just keeps coming forward. Very, very strong indeed.
Hobbies of Magnesi apparently are ice skating and billiards.
Well, there you go.
No, he didn't mention fishing at all.
No.
And Richie would say he doesn't know what he's missing.
Exactly.
Magnesi again onto the front foot, trying to dictate terms in the early stages of this fourth round. Good atmosphere in this famous arena tonight. Good shots, nice left hand from the Italian champion.
Cacace here just changing tact a little bit, just fighting fire with fire, holding his feet a little bit too long and trading there, but I thought coming away with some good work there. Cacace getting back on his bike now, so it may mean that he occasionally just a stand and trade, hit the target, then move again.
It's having every indication that this is going to go long and it's going to be a real grueling fight.
As you said though, John, Magnesi stopping his last 8 opponents, very, very confident coming into this contest. There's yet to go 12 rounds though, Magnesi.
Yeah, and there's a decent argument that Anthony Cacace is the best fighter he's been in with.
Yeah.
If he wins this, Magnesi, then that really does give him some respect and credibility around the world. Cacace, another of these wonderful fighters who's come out of Belfast. Of course, so many top fighters over the years and such a depth of talent in that city.
Yeah, absolutely. Good bit of boxing there from Anthony Cacace. Just counter-attack then. He just beat Magnesi to the punch, just quickly on that back foot, and then went forward very quickly to spring the attack. He just caught Magnesi off guard a little bit. So clever boxing that was from Cacace, just on the outside and then springing the attack, counter-attacking.
Plenty of kidology from Magnesi. Trying to show that these punches like that are not hurting him. Repeatedly shakes his head as much as to say, is that all you've got? Sucker.
I think they're both settling down now, aren't they, into a long, grueling contest. They know it's going to be tough, this one.
Oh, good right hand. Lovely shot that from Cacace.
Yeah.
Again, Magnesi showing what a terrific chin he's got, because that landed flush and he barely flinched. Good round.
Good round of boxing.
Amanda Serrano in the dressing room, getting ready. Defending her WBO, WBC and IBO World Featherweight titles against the IBF champion, Sarah Mahfood. And we go into another dressing room, and there she is. There's Mahfood. Came over with Bettina Palla, her promoter and manager. Bettina, who sadly had to go through the trauma of losing her much admired father, Mogens Palla, a top promoter in Denmark for many a year, who passed away recently at the age of 87. Well, it's a very competitive fight. Cacace may just be doing enough to be edging rounds.
Oh, lovely shot from Cacace there.
Magnesi just walked straight onto that, didn't he, that left hand?
Well, that's what Magnesi's got to do a little bit more of there, is that head movement as he's coming forward. He's getting a little bit more easier to hit now. And just allowing Cacace then to work at distance and throwing long shots like that.
And Magnesi also is finding that Cacace has got a decent chin himself. He has the reputation of the power puncher, and we've talked about those stoppage wins he's had coming into this contest, but Cacace showing that he can take it.
Yeah, tough kid is Anthony Cacace, but he's going to have to be here. He's in against a strong opponent who's probably willing to take a shot to land one. Cacace is landing good punches, but occasionally in this round just holding his feet a little bit too long, and that's allowing his opponent then just to come back with the better shots on the inside. So some good stuff from Cacace at distance, but on the inside it's Magnesi who's doing the better work.
Big for a featherweight. Anthony Cacace stands around about 5'10". Taller man here by around about 4 inches, and of course with a very much bigger reach. But despite the fact he's so tall, he doesn't have the appearance of a particularly gaunt fighter, does he?
No, he's
strong guy.
He's strong, long and lean, isn't he, Cacace? Very wiry figure, deceiving actually. Like Carl Frampton said, he says he punches very hard because he gets a lot of leverage in his shots.
He's had success, hasn't he, with those uppercuts. There's another good right hand, that time over the top, swinging right hand from Cacace.
Yeah, just being allowed to maintain the gap, John, there, Cacace. So maybe Magnesi in this round just slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
He hasn't closed that gap down, you see, and it's just allowing Cacace to work, being allowed to work at distance better.
Magnesi started so fast, didn't he, in the opening round, and he was never going to be able to maintain that sort of work rate as he went looking for potentially, I guess, an early stoppage, but it wasn't happening, and now it's settled down, and Magnesi's work rate is clearly slowed.
Yeah. Oh, there's a cut. I think there's a cut on the left eye of Cacace in the corner, so we'll have to have a look at that right at the end of the round.
Anthony O'Neill is the corner man who looks after cuts, and he'll be working away on that. Very experienced cuts man. Let's have a look as they go back, see how much the damage is, if indeed it is. Well, it's a nick. It's not a bad one. Very well-known figure in the fight game, Anthony O'Neill. And not only in boxing, had a long association with Conor McGregor.
Yeah, knows his stuff. Some action here. Magnesi trying to land punches on the inside. That's where the cut may have come from, we think.
Well, they've worked away on that one, but how much of a hindrance is it going to be? We're only in the 6th round, a long way to go.
Yeah, it's not in a very good place either because it's on the eyelid, so the blood will run into the eye, so he's got to watch out for that. But both boxers now, I think that spurred Magnesi on a little bit to come forward and force the fight, force the pressure. But Cacace boxing well again on the outside, hitting and moving. There was a little head clash there, so yeah, both acknowledge that.
So the cut accidental, we reckon. We think it was caused by a clash of heads. How have you got it at this stage, Richie, after 5 rounds?
I got it 3-2 to Cacace.
And how did you give that last round then?
I give the last round to Cacace. The thing is, though, John, a lot of these rounds are close, and it's going to be. It could come down to what the judge prefers. Does he prefer the front foot pressure from Magnesi or the work on the back foot from Cacace? It's got to be on clean shots landed, but both are having success at their individual styles. Cacace boxing well at distance, catching with the odd eye-catching work. Shots there, look, good work from him, but shouldn't be holding his feet. Got to hit and move. But Magnesi's having some success on the inside also, working well to the body, pinning his man on the ropes.
And he'll be trying to target that damaged left eye, make no doubt about that. It's the hurt game, and when you see an opponent injured as Cacace is, and that bleeding from the left eye is starting to flow again with a minute to go in this 6th round, when they see that sort of damage, they try to exploit it.
Yeah. Cacace now just trying to protect that eye maybe by switching to southpaw. He's got to watch out here.
Long way to go. And he's got to get his boxing right now. The Italian keeps coming on the front foot. Magnesi switching to southpaw. Just being outworked a little by Cacace in this round.
Yeah. Tiring fight for both boxers, but Cacace on that back foot, moving very well, hitting and moving, but that's going to take a lot out of him. Good right hand there from Cacace.
Last few seconds of this 6th round, the fight reaching its halfway stage. And Cacace working really hard there, and for me, doing enough to take that one.
Yeah, same here.
Let's have a word with Carl Frampton and see how he thinks this is going.
I thought the last 2 rounds, I've scored the last 2 to Magnesi. I think the last round was probably the most comprehensive round of any, and the easiest one to score, I thought anyway. I think Magnesi's presence and his work rate is really coming on, starting to affect Anto. I've got Anto a round up here, but I think that the work from the start is, you look at his body language now, I'm not liking what I'm seeing here, and he's going to have to pull something out of somewhere, because this guy's going to continue to come on strong.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Carl, talking us through his scorecard there, and we've got it, I think, by a couple of rounds, haven't we, for Cacace, Richie?
I think one more round for Cacace, haven't we? So it's close, isn't it? You know, that's how Carl's got it.
But it's a tight fight,
yeah,
and we're into the 2nd half now. Sometimes styles clash. These guys, it's really gelled. It makes for a fascinating confrontation.
I think I got it 4-2, haven't I, for Cacace? Big shots again going in from Cacace. Got to move the feet. Magnesi again. coming forward. Strong, this Italian boxer. That's better from him, but then he just falls in, just holding on the inside there, Cacace, just trying to smother the response from his opponent.
Michael Alexander doing a pretty good job of keeping the action going. If it goes the distance, we've got a Polish judge, a Canadian judge, and the top British referee, Steve Gray, who's going to be refereeing the big fight later on. The main event, Joe Joyce against Joseph Parker. And this one is still very much in the balance. Oh, good shot from both. Good right hand from Cacace, and then a left hand counter from Magnesi.
I think when Magnesi just slows his feet down, it just allows Cacace just to catch him with a good eye-catching, eye-opening shot. When he quickens those feet up, closes the gap, then it's a totally different sort of boxer.
Whoever takes this one certainly will know at the end of it that they have been in a real tough contest.
Yeah, hard battle, this. Very hard battle indeed.
Still got Nathan Heaney against Jack Flatley to come as well. Terrific fight that could be potentially. I know there are one or two people who think that Flatley's got a real chance of upsetting the odds there and winning that one.
Just better quality shots coming from Cacace. Volume again is from Magnesi, but I think Cacace's done well in this round. Some quality work from him this last minute or so.
Last few seconds of the seventh. Cacace just tying up the diminutive Italian and doing a pretty good job of it. Magnesi thinks it's going his way. Let's have a listen into the red corner, the Cacace corner. Well, Magnesi, for me, looks the fresher of the two at the moment, but good corner work from the Cacace team. Andrew O'Neill staunching the flow of blood from that left eye, and Ian Boyle giving the tactical advice. And I sense that he thinks that they're just about doing enough at this stage.
Yeah, well, Ian Boyle, he's talking about after the attacks, he'd like to see a defensive move of some sort, either moving the head or roll, but better work again from Cacace there. But they know that Magnesi is strong, so what they don't want is Cacace holding his feet after the attack, leaning forward, because that's where Magnesi does his better work. So he wants to see a defensive move after the attack, mainly with either a roll or a slip after he's landed his shot. Good advice, actually.
You can guarantee as ever that fighters and fans in Belfast will be watching this and loving it. And now the referee having a very stern word with Magnesi, telling them both to clean up the work, but I think he's particularly the admonishment was delivered in the direction of Magnesi. Good work again from Cacace. And that's good again, keeping it long and scoring well from range.
Sweeping shots there as well from Cacace. And as they come close now, just smothering Magnesi not allowing him to do his work on the inside. So clever boxing from Cacace.
Cacace again scoring good solid shots from distance, right hand and a left hand. A warning about holding his man. And he's doing a good job of tying up Magnesi inside.
Yeah, it's clever work from Cacace. Boxing well at range now, and then as they come together, just holds his opponent on the inside. So a bit of frustration will creep in from Magnesi, most definitely. But his feet have slowed down, and we pointed this out before.
Yeah.
When the Italian's feet slow down, it just allows Cacace just to set and work at distance and box better on the back foot.
Cacace's done a pretty good job of keeping him away from that left eye, which could potentially have been a real area of weakness. See him switching to southpaw on occasion to make that attacking possibility for Magnesi all the more difficult. There he is now, fighting with the right-hand lead rather than the left. And this has been a good round for Cacace, and finishing it strongly with a really solid right hand and another, stopping Magnesi in his tracks. Magnesi shakes his head as much as to say, I'm okay, but Cacace dominating in the closing stages.
Tremendous work there from Cacace. Caught his opponent with some real big shots there. Just signs that he was coming undone there, Magnesi. Big punches at the end of the round. Cacace boxed well up to this stage, also on the back foot. Much better boxing, but here making his opponent miss. Coming back, super right hand, and another one there. Left hook in between the two shots as the bell goes.
And the shake of the head and the big grin, as much as to say, you've not hurt me. But anybody who's watched boxing over the years knows that that sort of reaction is generally not the case.
Yeah, better work from Cacace.
That's how Carl's got it. And we likewise have Cacace ahead down here at ringside. It was perhaps the first time in the fight, really, that Magnesi genuinely looked as though he was a little bit stunned, those big punches at the end of the eighth.
Yeah, big shots. He needs Cacace now just to hold his feet, to stand and trade. Cacace now is managing to box better at distance. We spoke about it earlier. Magnesi's feet have slowed right down, and that's brought Cacace right into it. Now he's planning his attacks better from distance, and he's just picking his shots at long range. Much better boxing this is from Cacace.
I mentioned the fact that the WBC and WBO belts are now both vacant. Hector Luis Garcia is the WBA champion, and the IBF champion, Joe Cordina.
Well, there you go, he's a quality kid, Cordina. So wouldn't it be great if we could get it on with Cordina and Cacace if he comes through this?
Not impossible. Good work again from Cacace from range. And Magnesi looking very much less effective when he's fighting in close now than he was earlier.
Slowed down, hasn't he? The feet and the hands. He's not so effective on the inside with his work anymore. And it's just allowing Cacace that time on the outside just to plan his attacks now, Cacace, and picking his shots.
Cacace's been a pro for a long time, 10 years, and now at the age of 33, perhaps in touching distance of his most significant career victory to date. Magnesi keeps coming forward. It's the only way he knows how. Ships another couple of big right hands though as he does so.
He's still strong, Magnesi, but he's got to move his head. His head, again, no head movement at all. And because the feet are slow, he's an easier target to hit. Look, simple punching, basic boxing now at range for Cacace.
Often choosing to lead off with that right hand. It's better from Magnesi. Cacace forced into reverse gear in the closing seconds of this ninth. Is it going to be another big night for Belfast boxing? As the bell goes to end the round, and quite probably another round in the bag for Cacace. Coming up soon, we've got Nathan Heaney and Jack Flatley, the IBO International middleweight title fight. And there's Nathan Heaney, such a popular figure in Stoke. Had a bit of a shoulder problem earlier in the summer. He went down to Stoke City, his beloved Stoke City, and their physios sorted him out. And here's Jack Flatley, pride of Bolton. What an opportunity for him. Stepping up to middleweight and hoping that he has the ability, the boxing ability and the toughness to deny Nathan Heaney. Gonna be a good fight, that one, another one.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Just 3 rounds to go. And Anthony Cacace on our cards is ahead and just needs to box his way to victory from here.
The pace has suited Cacace these last couple of rounds. Magnesi has certainly got to go through the gears again and try and up the pace, which seems to give Cacace a few more problems when it's a quicker pace. But in the last couple of rounds, Cacace's boxed quite comfortable on the outside, slowed it down, picking his shots really, really well.
And early on, you'd have said that Magnesi physically looked the stronger man. That's not been the case in the last few rounds.
No, definitely not. And fair play to Cacace.
Oh, good shot, lovely left hand from Cacace, getting a response from those at ringside.
Because of that time he's had out, John, you know, this is a good performance up to now. He's just got to keep it going. He slowed Magnesi down with those better quality shots. Can he keep it going, Cacace?
Had that terrific win against Sam Bowen, which probably ranks as his best win to date. Anthony Cacace following it up with a very good defence of his titles against Leon Woodstock Jr. That was his last fight, August last year. So that underlines what Rich is saying about time out of the ring, and when you bear that in mind, this has been a really good return. Two of them looking fatigued in there, and no wonder.
Yeah, I think Cacace's just slowed down a little bit also here. But this is what probably Magnesi would prefer, Cacace to hold his feet. Although he's trading, he's landed a couple of good shots there as Cacace, but Magnesi certainly would prefer that rather than chasing after Cacace, where he keeps making the mistakes, no head movement, and keeps getting picked off.
Well, every second that Cacace keeps the Italian away is counting in his favour. We reckon he's ahead on the cards, so if he avoids big attacks from here on in, he's going to be emerging victorious. And again, a solid left hand from range from Cacace. Getting close to the end of the fight, and we'll have a listen in to the Cacace corner at the end of this round and see how they're viewing it and what exactly the advice is as he moves forward, perhaps, to taking this IBO belt. Magnesi keeps pressing, but he's had very little success in that round. A playful punch to the body of Cacace from Magnesi. Now let's listen in. inspiring words, and you can hear the emotion, you can sense the pride at what they will experience if he goes through and wins this from here. 2 rounds to go.
Yeah, I think in that corner there, they're just trying to motivate him a little bit. They know he's a little bit tired. They know he's been out of the ring for so long, and their opponent's still strong, coming forward. So they're just trying to get him over the line here now. But again, it's a good performance from Cacace. Boxing sensible, boxing well on the outside. Again, catching his opponent here with better punches.
But still, it could change around. It's not his belt yet. Magnesi will keep coming, keep looking for one big shot.
He's just less effective on the inside now, John, at short and mid-range. You know, earlier on in the contest, he was dangerous, you know, he throwing some hurtful shots on the inside, but now there's less effect with those punches. A little bit easier to hit. And Cacace, you know, he still can't relax, don't get me wrong, he can't get complacent here. Magnesi's still strong, but each round Cacace seems to be doing the better work.
Penny for the thoughts of Anthony Cacace's dad, the big Napoli fan, seeing how his son is doing against this guy who comes from Lazio, the Rome man, and the Belfast boy is prevailing, we reckon. Cacace just keeping at range, making Magnesi come looking for him. And the bellowed advice from the Cacace corner is stay switched on, keep your concentration.
Well, yeah, they know they're with a dangerous opponent who's looking again for that single shot on the inside, trying to whip one over the top. He's still dangerous. He caught Cacace there with that single shot. Hard fight.
Yeah, very much so. And Cacace, his conditioning is really being tested here, right the way to the line. Tough fight, as it should be, with a belt on the line. Just falling in behind that missed left hook, Cacace. Magnesi not able to make him pay, though, as another round nears its conclusion, the penultimate round about to end. And he gets through okay. Pair of them are dog-tired, exchange glances. They'll not forget this one in a hurry, Richie.
They certainly won't. The Cacace corner know how important it is, how he's got to stay focused. That's what they keep telling him. You know, 12 rounds in a fight, you're in against a dangerous guy. Just keep it going. 3 minutes to go.
These rounds might be slipping away at the closing stage. Nice show of sportsmanship there. Last 3 minutes. Magnesi probably needs a knockout.
Yeah, most certainly, I think, John. Cacace now, for me, he's way ahead. But Magnesi still there, trying to win the contest, still dangerous. And that's why Cacace corner we're giving him those instructions, just to keep concentrating, stay focused. And both these fighters have given it everything here. It's been a great 12-rounder.
Really tough fight. Hard man's fight, this one. If Magnesi is being beaten here, he still comes through it with a lot of credit. pushed Cacace all the way. Never stopped coming forward, never stopped looking for the big punches.
I think the key to a lot of his success earlier in the contest was the fast feet, fast hands, doing great, very, very good work on the inside. Cacace was getting caught with some good punches. The intensity from Magnesi was very good indeed. But then halfway through, just slowed it down. The feet slowed, we talked about it. And that just allowed Cacace to land the better shots. And he's controlled the pace since the mid-rounds. I think Cacace's controlled it very well. Box sensible.
He's kind of made it his fight, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
Early on, he was having to try and survive at close quarters where Magnesi was piling on so much pressure. But he loves it like this, and he's had a lot of success with that right hand. Moving into the last minutes of what has been a real tough man's draining contest. Cacace just tying him up. Referee's got to push him back and allow the action to continue. Oh, that's a solid shot from Cacace. Good left hand.
Yeah, good work. And then just ties Magnesi up on the inside.
Well, he's done Belfast proud tonight as Anthony Cacace.
He's boxed really well, you know, considering he's been out for 13 months. This has been a good display against a really strong, determined opponent. This was going to be a tough night, it certainly has been, but he's boxed brilliant, I think.
We're coming to the final bell. There it is. And Anthony Cacace and Michael Magnesi, they embrace, but Cacace is in celebratory mood. He knows that he's done enough. He knows that he's going to take the title, barring some sort of judging abnormality on a huge scale. He was very good tonight, and if he gets that belt, as surely he will, he's going to be rightly a very proud man.
When he was given the room and the time on the outside, in the later stages, and should say from the mid-section of the contest, he boxed very well indeed. It was tough early on, it really was. Magnesi was very strong early in the contest and had a lot of success, but I think Cacace, as it went on, got into a real rhythm and boxed really well.
His dad's here. There he is. That is Anthony Cacace's dad, who is going to be one very happy and proud man. And I think, there you are, there's the reaction. His lads picked him out in the crowd, shouts across to him, celebrates, and he gets this big smile straight back from his dad. Great atmosphere here in Manchester. Splendid arena. Seen so many top fights here over the years. Going back all the way into the 1990s, and here again a fight of real international importance tonight with Joe Joyce against Joseph Parker and Amanda Serrano in that big unification fight against Sarah Mahfoud as well. And he kisses that belt, he knows he's going to receive it. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, it's coming closer to the main event. Wonder how they're feeling there. No doubt how he was feeling. Tony Cacace Senior.
He'll be a proud man tonight, he really will.
You know all about that.
Yeah.
Had your dad alongside you so long.
Fantastic, yeah.
Great moments. And now we have got the results. Here's Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards, and we have a split decision. Judge Steve Gray scores it 116 to 112 in favor of Cacace. Judge Pavel Cardini scores it 116 to 112 in favor of Magnesi. And Judge Benoit Roussel scores it 117 to 111 for your winner. And new super heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony the Apache Cacace.
Wow. I wonder how he felt when that card went against him, when the Polish judge, for us, virtually inexplicably, gave it to Michael Magnesi. But that was the case. But nevertheless, the celebrations were huge, and the new IBO super featherweight champion is Anthony Cacace, and you could see for yourself just how much it meant for him. And there he is, the new champion with the belt around his waist. That was a great performance.